Alright, what's up, my friends? So as usual, this is a remake. I was like 20 minutes, 15 minutes into a video, and one of my dad's friends walked by and was like, "Oh, what's up, man?" I don't really feel like editing. I'd rather get the practice in, you know? So, my dad's friend, his name is Duke, and Duke went to the hospital for something, and they told him he had pneumonia, and he didn't have the Rona, but they gave him a note basically, and he took it to the pharmacy, and they gave him the Rona shot, which we really need to come up with a name for here. But he goes and he gets the shot, and he said he wasn't feeling good shortly after, and then he tried to stand up and couldn't move his legs, which is crazy. He had to go to the doctor's, a hospital. Somebody called an ambulance because he went down, I guess, and they kept him in the hospital for 14 days, quarantined his ass, and then they had to send him to another hospital to teach him how to walk again from the Rona shot, which is just insane. But I mean, that is what it is. I wouldn't take it ever. Like, I understand that, like, physically it might cause some harm, but on a spiritual level, there's nothing physical that can harm you spiritually unless you allow it to. Which is one of the reasons I still smoke. Also, because it kind of helps with my stress and my appetite. Because if I smoke, I lose my appetite ASAP. Alright, but anyway, to the point of this video, I wanted to talk for a second about the whole Joe Biden Afghanistan thing. And it's just laughable, right? So when he decided to not withdraw all the people in Afghanistan out of Afghanistan on the deadline given, he waited 6 extra weeks or whatever. It's like you could tell right then that he was, like a shitty example would be, rather than withdraw when they were supposed to, he made enough time for himself to install a high-ranking Taliban official so that he would have influence over Afghanistan, not just in the sense that they installed the president and he was a puppet. But if they insert a member of the Taliban, a high-ranking official, literally works for the U.S. government, that's controlling both sides, which is, I mean, if you haven't noticed, that's what the government tends to do. Control both sides and pretend that there's conflict between the two. There never is. There was some more about that, but I don't care. Let's get to the good stuff, right? So I'm watching some things on YouTube here, and I don't know if it's just like, I swear sometimes it seems like people in different areas of the world that talk about similar subjects are always on the same wavelength, if you know what I mean. Like, it's almost like a scotoma, but it's not a scotoma, because a scotoma is something that happens with you, and this is the same way that I make a video and I would talk about certain things, and then Big Sib would make a video and he would talk about similar things, because we have the same mindset and we were on the same wavelength, so we received the same ideas, basically. The point is, what I heard was that these artists are channeling messages, not messages. Sure, these artists are they're a medium, which is exactly what they are, but their art has an alternate meaning other than what they may believe that it is. Of course, this is like hypothetical. I can't be sure. But I can tell you that certainly that message is there. That alternate message is there. Even in the most absurd places, right? Dig it. Pause right here. Search on YouTube. Melly. It's something like Melly. Murder on My Mind, right? And this is a newer song, and it is a rap song. It's a crap song. And the guy talks about murdering his best friend, right? Nowhere in this song is there an actual premise for why this man murdered his friend. But what is visible is... Sorry, every time it goes out. Let's pause, right? So we're talking about the Melly video, okay? So what we need to do is, when we read the Bible, when we look at any kind of art... Sophie, where you going? Okay, anyway. We read the Bible, we talk about art. It's like literally life around you. If you get these things down that I'm going to tell you, you can look around you and see things differently. So, when we see the term woman, right? We know that in a symbolic sense, and the physical woman is a living representation of the spiritual mind. Nurturing, caring, all those things. And the woman is the same thing as the child. They're the same in a symbolic sense. They have the same behaviors, the same mindset, that kind of thing. Until you're corrupted as a child, which is this world, that's what the world tries to kill, is the innocent child. The innocent child that loves, that's what Caesar's after. That's why you see all the shit on the news, all the shit on the radio, all the shit on the TV. They're trying to corrupt the children, because that innocence, that's it. That's where it's at. So when we see the terms like water, sea, any kind of water term, what we're talking about is the whole of the mind. Okay, so first, woman is subconscious. It's negative. It's feminine. But man is masculine, positive, conscious, right? The subconscious is like an empty bag, and the conscious mind is like a person picking vegetables out of the garden, right? You get the good vegetables and you put them in the bag, but you don't want to put in the bad stuff, right? Or some people even say you fill the seeds, and then, yeah. So the woman is the subconscious. The man is the conscious mind. The water, forget it. Water is symbolic for those two combined. The mind as a whole is symbolized by water. It's fluid, it changes, all those things. So when we go look at this Melly video, right, you'll see that it's about a guy, for no particular reason, shoots his friend and kills him. Okay? And this is what I was just saying about, that's what the world tries to do, is kill the innocent, sweet little child. That's what the video is. That's what he's talking about. He killed, right? The Son of Man, so to speak, that child. And if you go look at this video, you'll see that it involves a serpent. There's a big boa constrictor rolling around. There's a lot of dark symbology, and well, we'll get there. So it's got a serpent, it's got a lamb, the lamb, you know, and he shot his friend, and his friend died. Okay, this isn't about a man who had a firearm and discharged it and hit his friend in the chest, and his friend is now deceased. Okay? The shot is symbolic for, you could say, the corruption, whatever it is that killed that Son of Man in his heart. Go watch the song, watch the video, right? And it's everything works like this. Everything. Once you see it, it's with you forever, right? So from here, when you understand what I'm saying here, every music video changes. You can see the message, what they're doing physically in the music video is a perfect representation of spiritual truths. If I can, it's really hard to explain, but it's true. So if you go watch the Foo Fighters, all of their videos work like this. There's a few exceptions, like the song Learn to Fly, but even then, there's really not an exception, because if you think about it, the song Learn to Fly, it's not about an airplane, it's about you flying on your own and not being part of the world. But the song Everlong, right? It's got a man and a woman, okay? And they're like a couple. And then they're in a bed, they go to sleep, and then it does watery stuff, right? That's when it's going into a dream, okay? And in this dream, the man has to protect the woman. There's stuff that happens, and the man always protects the woman, because that's your conscious mind not letting evil, corruption into your subconscious mind. It's a really good video. Really, check it out. All these videos here. This is really one of the things I want to do, but copyright is an issue, of course. I want to do video breakdowns and explain this scene for scene, because it's once you see it and you understand it, that's it. You got it, and there's no looking back. You'll never see it the same way again. So another one by Foo Fighters, a really popular song, Best of You, right? Go watch the video. You'll notice there's children dressed in white and all that shit. There's sexual references, because, like, I think personally that's what the Tree of Life is about. It's about sex, and that is what develops the ego, so to speak. What it is, the way society is, right? The way that human nature is. Sexual prowess is something that is glorified and whatever. With the way that works, it instantly throws the child into competing against other people and all these aggressive, dominant, alpha male activities, right? So that develops the ego in an instant, because now you have to mentally appear dominant, right? And the feminine, caring, generous nature, it dissipates and dissipates and dissipates. Alright, so anyway, go watch the video. Make sure you see all the shit that's flashing in and out, because it's a fast moving video. And get the snake. The snake bites something, but all the same symbology, all the same symbols are there. Symbolism, I'm sorry. Any video. The absolute worst one for this, right? There's a video that I can watch and watch and watch, and it kind of freaks me out just based on how weird it is. But that's called Losing My Religion. Go watch the video. I dare you. Go ahead. Go watch it. And consider what I'm telling you now with the symbolism. It's got the baby. It's a full-grown man in a diaper. But and it's got a crazy Shiva, scary-looking lady in it. And there's all kinds of stuff in that video. Go watch it. It's even from the very beginning to the very end. It is absurd. But I love watching it and trying to understand what's actually being said. I still can't get it. It's wild. Alright, we're going to wrap this up here because this was just like freestyle, basically. This is true for all forms of art, everything. Nothing escapes this truth. Nothing. The male is conscious ego mind. The female is the subconscious mind. Water represents both of them. Light is knowledge, understanding, truth, wisdom, love, all those things. When you get these symbols down, it changes your understanding of everything. Everything. And the key is, God is in the woman. Psalm 22:9 or something. It's been a while. God is within the woman. She shall not be moved. When morning comes, he will help her. And I swear I think that's something to do with dreams. But, alright, here's what we're going to finish on. It's a verse that Big Sib reminded me of the other day. And I'm glad that he did. To the pure mind, all things are pure. When you root out the corruption in your mind, there's a Bible verse for that. I know it. You get rid of all the corruption and the evil in your heart, then God can make his home in your heart. If you have never, I don't know, when I was growing up, people used to say, oh, you hear voices, you're crazy. But I heard a voice when I had my moment where I was totally pure, meditating, and I had no ill will, bad feelings, none of that. I heard a fucking voice, and I know what it was. It was like my heart was talking to my mind without words. And it's really absurd. Sometimes I still think about it and whatever. But when your heart and your mind are pure, you understand that there's one God. That's it, right? There's no Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, Shiva, Krishna. There's none of that shit. There's one God, and there's no other. And then there's man, and that's it. No fallen angels, Nephilim, ice giants, aliens, reptilians, Bigfoot, ghosts. None of that shit is real. And when your mind is pure, you understand that. And so, when you see things like the Afghanistan, you understand that although it may appear to be god-awful, like Biden literally has a potato for a brain, the truth is God's always in control, and no matter what the situation is, it's always going to go exactly how it's supposed to. There's no way around it. Everything is as it should be and always will be. I'm telling you, man, when your mind is pure and your heart is pure, it's the most wonderful thing imaginable. I would, every day I wake up all day long, I wish that I could get back to that place that I was in. After, see, and that's why I started making these videos, because after I had this experience, right, it was so incredible, and at the time I didn't even really understand what was happening, but it was so incredible that it changed my entire life forever. Never will there be a day that I do not think about that, and never will there be a day that I am not trying to get back there. But as I read the Bible, I began to understand what was happening. And Paul said, what you are given is a taste of heaven. Basically like a incentive, so to speak. That's a terrible word to use, but I forget the exact term that Paul used too. But he said, what you were given is a taste of heaven, a taste of things to come. And when you finish your race here in this earth, in the next life, that's when you're in heaven. But I guess that's enough. Just two more things. So I've been wondering, and I've wondered for a long time, I just always forget to mention it. How come the Apostle Paul was Roman? I'm sorry, he wasn't even an apostle. Paul was Roman, and Peter was an apostle. And Peter wasn't Roman. But the Catholic Church is in Rome and says it's founded by Peter. What? Peter wasn't even Roman. But anyway, you and I know when Peter said, on this rock I shall found my church, he wasn't talking about a fucking brick that you can pick up and throw. He was talking about when you make yourself pure, I will give you a white stone, and no one will know the name on the stone except he who receives it. That is the church, and it's the mind. It's a pure mind and a pure heart, and that's where God lives. Like I said, we can do the whole Jew Jerusalem thing over again. A Jew is one who's circumcised in the heart from all the vanity of this world, and that heart that is circumcised and pure is Jerusalem, Israel, paradise, all those things. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on before I get out of here, what was it? Just give me 1 sec, I'll remember. Okay, no I won't. I guess that's it, guys. This was, like I said, no script. I was just flying with it. That's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I love you all, and I'll see you very soon.